Ja, herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe SI Talk. Bin noch immer im PDEC 2024. Bei mir jetzt International Graphite. Es geht um Graphit, wie man wahrscheinlich unschwer am Namen feststellen kann. Sind in Australien beheimatet. Und ja, er will uns jetzt einmal sicher einiges mal zu seiner Firma, aber vielleicht auch ein bisschen was zum Graphit-Markt. Den muss man ehrlicherweise sagen, kennen wir ja relativ wenig. Andrew, thank you for your time. You are CEO of the company of International Graphite, and it's is in your name. We're looking for graphite. Before we go a little bit deeper and you're based in Australia.
Yes.
Before we go a little bit deeper into your project, please tell us a little bit more about graphite. What you're doing. What this looks like, what the market is looking for. You know, I think it's a lot of misunderstanding. Is graphite like graphite? Is what you're looking for?
Well, graphite is a complex market. The emerging use and demand for graphite is really coming out of the battery industry, in particular the lithium-ion battery for electric vehicle applications, energy storage and so forth. And that's where we're seeing the significant growth in demand for graphite. It's historically always had its industrial uses, so its properties are particularly useful in heat resistance and so forth. So there is a well-established industrial market for graphite products that suit certain deposits, and the battery market is looking for another kind of natural and synthetic graphite for the new emerging market.
Is there different is the industrial graphite what the industry used the same graphite what you use in the battery? From the chemical perspective, yeah, for sure, but I know exactly there are a lot of different structures of the graphite.
Yeah, so keeping it simple and high level, I guess what we're talking about is flake size. And so historically, you've seen a lot of commentary in the graphite market about jumbo flakes and coarse flakes, and they were highly sought after and still are in the industrial markets. So foils, expandable products, heat resistance, and so forth, heat resistance products. So that's been the historical application. The battery anode market itself lends itself to the fines sector of the fines part of a graphite deposit, and that's due to the ultimate battery anode product is looking for a sort of in the order of 15 to 22 micron in size for the graphite fraction. So the finer you have your graphite mineralisation, the more suited you are from a cost perspective to go down that battery anode path. And that's, I guess, the primary difference between the markets and what graphite product would go to which particular market.
Okay. So then come to your project. So what are you looking for? What you're doing on it? How far you advanced it so far? In which stage you are?
Yeah, sure. So we see ourselves as being a graphite production focused company. We've got really two streams of focus at the moment. First of all is building a micronised business, graphite business in Collie in Western Australia. So International Graphite itself is a Western Australian focused company. We have a mineral deposit on the south coast of Western Australia called the Springdale Graphite Project, and then we have our ambitions of building downstream processing facilities in Collie in Western Australia, which is 200 kilometres south of Perth, at the southern end of the industrial heartland, if I could put it like that, of Western Australia. So where you see the lithium chemical plants being built and where you see heavy industry and chemical industries in Western Australia, that's in that corridor. Our first production ambition is to build a micronised facility in Collie, and to that end we've just announced recently the commissioning of a qualification scale plant, and what that will do is get product out to market and get it assessed by customers and give us the validation to go ahead and build a commercial scale facility in the next 15 to 18 months.
Okay. Yeah. So, and how big is this pilot plant?
Yeah, it's bigger than a pilot plant, but it's not commercially of a commercial scale. So it's 200 horsepower plant. It produces small quantities of graphite. It would then be expanded to around about a 4,000 tonne per annum facility. That's what we're looking at. So that will have a capital cost of around $12 million. And we're hoping to have that sort of funded by the mid part of this year. And we've got a number of initiatives in place looking at that financing package. The real benefit of setting up this business is it gets us into the graphite market ahead of when most companies would be developing their mine and their downstream processing ambitions. There's a big development gap or big development timetable bringing a mine and the production facility to market. So what we're looking to do is sort of bridge that gap by bringing in a micronizing business, treating imported concentrates initially, and then replacing that imported concentrate with concentrate from Springdale. And we'll essentially establish ourselves in the marketplace prior to Springdale coming online. So it'll give us cash flow in that period where otherwise you'd just be spending money on development. And then we would be also developing markets for our byproducts of the battery anode flow sheet. And as your viewers would all be well aware, I'm sure, the spherotisation process within the battery anode process spits out a micronised byproduct, and that has to go to market, and that's what this is also establishing for us. So that's our first production ambition. The big goal of the company is to build the mine to market's battery anode material plant in Collie, which would treat concentrates mined and processed and produced in Springdale, and then trucked up to Collie to service the battery anode industry.
But for the first production, from which side you get the ore? It's not coming from your mine.
No, so the first step would be to import concentrate. So we bring that into the country, and we essentially set the business up. And our market research has identified that there's a real interest in getting non-China related finished product to market, and so that's the opportunity we've identified. We've had a lot of government support to sort of bring new business into Collie. That's also assisted us in establishing the premises, and we think that we can have that sort of facility operational in the second half of next year.
Okay, but and the raw material from which side you get it? When you say it's not coming out from China, it's
no, we'll source the graphite from third parties.
Okay, third parties. But you don't have so far an offtake agreement for them or already in place where you
purchase the concentrate. No, we've got a couple of MOUs with trading houses and so forth. So we're not under any concerns about getting supply.
This production plan is also to see how your process is working. So is there any difference from one graphite to your mine graphite that they say, okay, this is also similar or something or like?
Yeah, there are certainly differences. Remembering that we would be treating a 95% graphite concentrate, so 95% of the graphite's in the concentrate, and then you're dealing with the deleterious elements that are within that. So each concentrate's different for sure, and the customer certainly wants to know the signature of where the graphite originated from, and because they can do their due diligence around the supply source, and ultimately, and some applications are more sensitive to product quality than others, and graphite is quite a deep market with all sorts of different iterative products, and some have higher specification requirements than others.
Okay.
Yep.
You say you need 12 million to finance the first phase of the production. Do you have any plans how you raise the money?
We do, but it's not something I necessarily want to share right now.
Okay. So, but as a shareholder, what we can expect the next 3 to 6 months from your company, from the Newsflow side? So, for which side we should get some information?
Yeah. So, just take the developments at Collie at the moment. We'll have processing of concentrates going on over the next 3 months, getting product to customers for verification and validation, and that ought to help us make that final investment decision. And look, if we can do that by Q3 of this year, that'll be a great result. That'll certainly see us installing the new facilities in the second half of next year and being operational in 2025. In terms of the Springdale mine to market strategy, we're deep into feasibility work on both the mine and concentrator and the downstream facilities in Collie.
Okay.
We just released a scoping study back in January which identified the broad metrics around which the feasibility study is going to be developed on, and so we'll be back in drilling in the next 4 to 6 weeks down at Springdale, increasing the size of the resource. We already have abundant resources, probably 60 to 70 years of mining operations down there, but we need to reclassify some more material out of the inferred into the indicated category, just to add some more economic mine life from a ASX disclosure perspective. We need to do the permitting process. No showstoppers in there. We're on cleared agricultural land, so we're very positive around the timetable for that. We would hope to think we could get it done by the end of this year. It may spill into early next year, and that's a function of just the resource capability of government departments that are I guess thinly staffed relative to the workload they've got, and so we don't see a problem on the permitting front, and we'll just work through the capital and operating cost estimation process and the process design work over the next 6 months.
Well, what is the biggest hurdle you think for going forward? Is it more on the permitting side? Is it the financing side? Well, what is the biggest technical side? Technical side is done, or
not. So let's separate the mine itself from downstream. There are really there's no technical challenges for our team in building this mine. It's a very simple concentrator. The mine itself's shallow. We'll be mining oxidised and weathered rock for the first 15 to 20 years, so limited issues around waste and tails and so forth. That may be more controversial if you've got sulphur and sulphides through your deposit. We don't have any of those challenges. So we're producing one product, one fines product, so the concentrate at stream itself will be pretty straightforward from a design perspective. All the equipment's off the shelf. It's only we're looking at 500,000 tonne processing facility, so the lead time, there's no extravagant lead times on the project. We've got accommodation in the region. We have abundant water on site. We've got roads to the site. So there's a whole bunch of unique advantages we have in our mining operation that sort of Mother Earth has blessed us with, and which we'll take advantage of, that makes our operations more unique perhaps than what others have to contend with. So we don't see any particular challenges around the Springdale mine. It's just a matter of doing the work and demonstrating that. So we're confident internally on that. On the downstream facilities in Collie, we've got pilot scale micronising and spheridising facilities in Collie at the moment, which we're using as part of our test work program. We need to go through some purification work. We're probably doing that in Germany, like most graphite producers do. And so we'll be bolting together that test work program over the next 6 months. We've got just over 100 kilos of concentrate that we produced from drill core on site, and we'll be using that to do the test work program over the next 6 months. So certainly more technical challenges in the downstream than the upstream, but we're certainly on track to have the studies all completed during the course of this calendar year to get us to at least that intermediate product, which is the uncoated, purified, spheridised graphite. So it's a heavy work program for our technical team, but we can certainly achieve it. Ultimately, like every wannabe producer and mine developer, it comes down to the markets and your ability to secure the offtake, secure the investment capital that's required to be able to bring the dreams to reality. And so that's really our challenge for the next 6 to 9 months, is pull those pieces of the puzzle together on a basis that's great for shareholders.
So it looks like that you have a busy 6 to 9 months ahead.
Yep.
So you work on all fronts, and if you succeed next year, end of the next year, you're in production.
When we succeed.
Well,
yeah. When we succeed.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's always the industry is risky. We know this, but if you succeed,
we've got to be positive. You have a go.
Sure.
Yeah.
And if you have a delay of 3 months, everybody can live with that.
We'll just keep on doing what we can do. Yeah. We've been very good, I think, as a company since we listed in April of 2022 on delivering on our commitments and our expectations. We'll keep on punching.
Okay. Andrew, thank you for the first introduction to your company. Very interesting. I have not too much knowledge about the graphite market and how it looks like. I know graphite only from the pens to write something, but not really from. You never see it in a battery or something. It's not a, it's not a commodity. It's really you see often.
There's more graphite in a battery than any other commodity.
I know, and that's the funny thing. You think always when you look at a battery, especially when it comes to cars, you always think of lithium, but you underestimate the material what you need from other materials too. So it's interesting. Ja, das war ein Update oder ein erstes Interview mit International Graphite. Ist eine australische Firma, notiert seit 2022, hat er gesagt. Sie haben eigentlich einen interessanten Approach. Das erste ist, sie haben eigentlich eine Pilotanlage, also er sagt eine größere als eine Pilotanlage gebaut, oder bauen sie gerade und das rennt auch gerade, dient dazu, um eine Technologie abzugraden und zu überprüfen und das auch schon Material an die Endkunden zu schicken. Das Material für diese Testanlage kommt aber nicht von ihrer Mine, die ein paar hundert Kilometer entfernt ist, sondern von Third Parties, also von Dritten. Und sie haben allerdings eine Mine auch in Australien, die sehr oberflächennahe ist, die auch gleichzeitig quasi jetzt dann in den nächsten 18 Monaten in Produktion gehen soll. Dort wird dann ein Concentrator drauf hingesetzt, sodass es hochgradig ist und dieses Konzentrat wird dann ein paar hundert Kilometer noch in der Nähe von Perth geschickt, um dort das dann aufzuarbeiten und ein finalen Produkt zu produzieren, das auch dann unter anderem bei Autos eingesetzt werden kann. Sie brauchen für die Anlage in Cali brauchen sie 12 Millionen. Wie ist das Raisen, wissen sie noch nicht genau. Das hängt da vor allem auch jetzt mit der Testanlage zusammen. Da sind sie mit sehr vielen im Gespräch. Ich würde sagen, einfach meine persönliche Meinung, da geht es um diverse Offtakes oder Nicht-Offtakes und doch ist meistens auch eine Kapitalkomponente beinhaltet und möglicherweise kriegen sie auch dann schon dort ihr Geld zusammen, damit sie das sehr anlegerfreundlich aufnehmen können, das Geld. Denn Geld ist nach wie vor knapp in der Industrie. Graphit selber, den Markt kennen wir eigentlich relativ wenig, ich kenne es nur vom Bleistift, aber es ist mehr, oder auch selber gesagt, mehr Graphit in der Batterie als Lithium. Das sollte man nicht vergessen. Und Batterien werden momentan wahnsinnig viele gebaut, nicht nur für die Automobilindustrie, auch für Speicherindustrie und so weiter und so fort. Interessante Sache, muss man auf der Agenda haben. Er sagt, die nächsten 6 bis 9 Monate werden entscheidend sein. Das werden auch die busy Zeit sein, weil sie arbeiten an alle Fronten, sowohl an der Testarbeiten, dass sie dann dementsprechend die größere Anlage bauen, an der Mine, an den Konzentrator, die Permitting laufen quasi parallel dazu und es schaut sehr, sehr gut aus. Ich kann mir auch vorstellen, dass man eine Graphitmine relativ einfach nur permitten kann, weil jeder eigentlich ein relativ gutes oder positive Einstellung zu Graphit hat. Graphit klingt nicht schmutzig, Graphit kennt jeder vom Bleistift. Also von daher kann man das vorstellen, dass das ganz gut funktioniert. Das war ein Interview, erstes Interview für International Graphite an der PDEC 2024. Tschüss und Baba, für dich. Thank you.
Ciao, pleasure.